Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Middle East Institute Center for Turkish Studies' second annual conference. This is a special year. It's the 65th birthday of the Middle East Institute and the second birthday of the Center for Turkish Studies at the Middle East Institute. Welcome. Take your seats. Hold on to those seats because we've got a overcapacity crowd signed up today. People drift in and out during the day, but the interest in this conference has been enormous, which is a tribute really to the rising importance of Turkey in its role as it looks east and south. We'll hear all about that today in a very interesting schedule. I would now like to point out that we provide this conference gratis to all participants, and we're pleased to have you here, but we would like to encourage you to become members of the Middle East Institute in order to support our efforts to bring first-rate conferences of this sort to the Washington public and officials. Now, we do have a table right outside the back door of this room. We're signing up both members to the Middle East Institute, and with your membership, you get a subscription to the Middle East Journal, which I encourage you to go and look at. I see many people here who are not members yet, so you know who you are. Let me introduce a very impressive and promising young scholar who heads the Center for Turkish Studies at the Middle East Institute. Dr. Gönül Tol comes from a small town in Turkey, Mersin. She got her undergraduate degree at the very distinguished Middle East Technical University in Ankara, and she received her PhD here in the United States at the Florida International University, and she's doing an extraordinarily good job in keeping our communities informed about events in Turkey and the Turkish-U.S. relationship. Gönül.
Thank you, Andy. That was a really nice introduction. On behalf of the Center for Turkish Studies, I would like to welcome you all to our second annual conference. Last year in June, when we convened in this room for the first annual conference, Turkey had just voted against the sanctions against Iran in United Nations Security Council. Relations with Israel had hit rock bottom after the flotilla incident, and we were talking about whether the Western world had lost Turkey. Some of us were concerned about the course of Turkish democracy and feared that the AKP, ruling the country for 8 years, would turn Turkey into the next Iran in a region where democracy was a luxury and authoritarianism was the norm. Others were praising Turkey's increasing soft power and Foreign Minister Ahmet Davutoğlu's idealism as tools to finally fulfill Kant's dream of perpetual peace. But 1 year later, we face a very different Middle East, and we are confronted with very different questions. The Western world is now promoting Turkey as a model for the rest of the Middle East, which is going through a historical transformation that no one had foreseen. The popular uprisings that toppled the age-old authoritarian regimes have shown us that the demand for freedom, democracy, equality, and justice has no nationality. And that the clash of civilizations discourse, which has dominated coverage about Muslim-Western relations for the past 10 years, needs to be deconstructed. The Arab Spring is a manifestation of universal human aspirations, but it is also the harbinger of an alternative modernity that represents an alternative democratization path that is organically linked to local culture and yet in dialogue with global norms and ideas. So where does Turkey stand within this new regional imagination? As Arab dictators respond brutally to the democratic demands of their own people? Can we still be hopeful about the effectiveness of Turkey's soft power? What about Turkish democracy, which is now seen as an example of peaceful coexistence of democracy and religion? And is the policy of zero problems with the neighbors still relevant when international conscience calls for intervention in Syria, which is inflicting deadly violence on its own people? We have here today a group of distinguished speakers to address these questions, and we hope we can provide a platform for a dialogue that can foster a better understanding of the important challenges we confront, as well as contribute to closer relations between the people of the United States and Turkey. Before I conclude, I would like to express my gratitude to those who have lent their vision to the Center for Turkey Studies. Dr. Ibrahim Kalın has provided invaluable encouragement and advice, and I'm very grateful for that. And I would also like to thank the Turkish Ambassador to the United States, His Excellency Namık Tan, for his support. And thanks also to our President, Wendy Chamberlain, and Vice President, Kate Seeley, Dr. Yasemin Akbaba, Stephen Larrabee, Henri Barkey, our keynote speakers, and our panelists. Last, certainly not least, special thanks to my colleague at CTS, Ms. Hande Ayan, for her tireless work and dedication. Hande, raise your hand so that everyone can see you. I'm at the front. And our intern, Natsumi, and all my colleagues and interns at the Middle East Institute. Now I would like to invite the Honorable Alexander Wöschbau, the Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs, to deliver the opening remarks. In addition to his professional talents, we just learned that Ambassador Wöschbau is also a very talented drummer. Ambassador.